My last deuce and a half video, I was talking about how I had parked next to the building and we're protected from the afternoon sun, ready to work on it. But I had to slave start it to get going that day. And let the batteries charge for a while. And I'm going to do a whole other video about charging batteries. It started by itself this morning after a while. And I also started looking, and if I have to replace, if I pull the cylinder, today's a diagnostic thing. If I pull the cylinder's heads off and something's wrong with the block, where I had it, I could not get equipment to it to pull the engine out. And this is a 2,000, maybe 2,200 pound engine. Things are heavy. So I had to move the truck somewhere else. So I put it in the woods. I got a clear spot above me so I can open the hood. And yes, the hood is secured. And we're going to do our first diagnostic. Try to figure out which cylinder is the problem. Before I do that, though, this step. This step, I was so happy when this truck had that step on it. It's like, oh, yes, I got the step. I can get up here with it. Well, the thing's loose. And I found it's easier and safer for me to put my foot on the back of the bumper and climb up this way. I've been doing that all along. This step, though, rattles, makes all kinds of racket, and is very useful for me to put a 5-gallon water jug right here. It's a great cooler holder. That's why I use the step for. So if you're looking for one, you look for a truck and the truck isn't quite right, but it has that step, don't let that step be what makes you buy the truck. All right. So diagnostic. I don't know, 20, 30 minutes ago, I had it running and warmed up the temperature. I am going to not put the camera up on the truck. Okay. We're all up here. Yeah, you're half in sun, half in shade. 6 injectors. These are the injector lines from the injection pump. If I loosen them with it running, fuel should spray out. And if that cylinder is producing power, the idle will drop. If I open it up and fuel sprays out and the idle doesn't change, I got a dead cylinder. I used a flare nut wrench to loosen them all up. Used a regular open end and tighten back up so I can do this with the video running, the truck running, and everything else. It's going to get loud here. Let's see what happens. Fire it up. I can feel a difference on that one. I can feel there too. Feel that one. Feel that one. Now when you're here again, back up and get the picture. Interesting. I had not done that yet. My thinking all along has been head gasket. But you saw 3, 4, 5, and 6 sprayed fuel and the idle changed. 3 sprayed fuel, the idle changed. 2 did not spray fuel and the idle did not change. 1, the idle changed, I got a little bit of fuel. So I'm going to, even though I've already bought the head gasket kit, because everything online says things aren't running right, head gasket. But this trouble started after I replaced the O-rings on the hydraulic head. This might still be an injector problem. So which one is? I'll get that in a little bit. But you saw, I think that's called a power balance test. Oh, can you hear the air? Go back to the truck here. My last video I mentioned I had an air leak. Should be able to hear that. There's a hole in the bottom of one of the air tanks right on the bracket. So I either have to replace the tank or pull it off, weld a patch on there or something. That's a problem for later. But this is just, I have a problem with the way the truck's running. And number 2 did not change. I didn't get fuel. I'm going to mess with that more. Just the ongoing saga of a deuce and a half that isn't running quite right. I'm going to play with that. UPS is going to the neighbors, so they're coming to me. Yes, I should have had eye protection on when I was popping those injector lines off. I didn't. That was my fault. I'm going to research what the manual says about this and go from there. But it might be a fuel injector problem instead of an engine problem, which would be good.